Peace and blessings to you on the second Sunday of Advent. In 2022, a movie was made about Padre Pio, one of the most well-loved contemporary saints. He was a Catholic priest, a Franciscan friar. I'm sure some of you have been to the shrine of Padre Pio in Santuario di San Pio da Pietrelcina. In this movie, in this movie that was released in 2022, the role of Padre Pio was played by American actor Shia LaBeouf. He was also one of the actors in the movies like Transformers and Indiana Jones. But for people who knew Shia LaBeouf, especially his life and background, it was shocking that he would portray and he would play the role of Padre Pio because he has a record of addiction and abuse. And he himself told this part of the story of his life in his interview with Bishop Robert Barron. I watched the whole interview, and he literally said, I lived a life like hell, and I also contemplated suicide. While Shia LaBeouf prepared for the role of Padre Pio as Padre Pio, he immersed himself in the community of Capuchin friars in California. While living with the priests and brothers, he fell in love with the peace and joy that he experienced among the priests and brothers. That was the beginning of his conversion. Last year, 2024, he asked to be baptized into the Catholic Church. And in January 2024, he received the sacrament of confirmation. And he is discerning now to become a permanent deacon in the Catholic Church. The story does not end there. There were different reactions to it. Some were happy, some were surprised, some were inspired, but many are very skeptical. They think Shia LaBeouf is just acting and pretending. They think it is just about promoting the movie Padre Pio. They think it is just about the money. But again, we don't know what is deep in the heart of a person. Conversion is always something interior and personal. But we know in the scriptures and in the lives of the saints that God can indeed right straight in crooked paths. Maaaring sumulat ang Diyos ng matuwid sa baluktot na daan. The first reading describes the transformation of Abraham from a pagan patriarch to a believer in the one God. And the change of identity is shown in the change of name from Abram without H to Abraham with H. The Gospel reading describes the Transfiguration of Jesus. In a mountain called Mount Tabor, as he was praying, the Gospel says, the appearance of his face changed completely. This was not, however, a change of identity like the first reading from the book of Genesis about Abraham. No. Rather, it is a revelation of his true identity. By revealing his identity, he was telling his disciples, when you see me carry the cross, ridiculed and crucified like a criminal, remember this moment. Remember this moment of glory. My life with you will not end in death, but in glory. Remember this moment. The apostles must have been tempted to ask Jesus, why should we keep this as a secret? Would it not be good if those who follow you will understand that suffering and death are temporary? Jesus calls us to share in his resurrection, but not without embracing the journey that leads to it. There is no shortcut, there is no detour. There is no Easter without Lent. The Transfiguration of Jesus reminds us that we must live the gospel values in their entirety. Meaning, we do not become a hop on and hop off Christians. Yung nauna. Hindi ko nabigyan ng instruction yung aking mga assistant. Pasensya na. Hindi nagtugma sa pumili ko lahat. The temptation is to become hop on and hop off Christians. Have you, I know, most of you have tried going to countries and you do not know where to go. So the most convenient would be to book a hop on and hop off bus, especially for the senior, I'm sure. You know the experience, right? The bus stops only on tourist sites. But you also have the option that if you don't like the place, you can remain in the bus, right? You don't have to go down. We cannot be hop on and hop off Christians, meaning we only pick and select the aspects of our Christian faith that is convenient and comfortable for us, that fits our personal preference, and we leave those we find hard, difficult, inconvenient, and uncomfortable. Yes, it's really a challenge. It is really about wholehearted commitment. Let me end now our reflection. Like Shia LaBeouf, we cannot just pretend. We cannot just do acting. It has to be a serious commitment and devotion. What will be our inspiration to stand firm in our faith, as the second reading from the letter of Paul to the Philippians says? Saint Paul said, we are citizens of heaven. We await our Savior Jesus, and He will change our mortal bodies into His own glorified body by the power that enables Him also to bring all things to completion. That is our light and inspiration. Let us reflect for a moment.